He's going to sign the entire. Oh, you got one? Okay, I'm going to get this. Hi, how are you? I'm on. Fantastic.
Hey everyone, welcome to the secondary cast of Ghostbusters panel. So everyone make sure to give them a great round of applause because their roles are so important in making a movie happen. So to start off, how does it feel for each of you to be a part of this great legacy of Ghostbusters?
Is that a question?
Overwhelming.
I'm overwhelmed at how big it is this length of time. I would have expected this crowd 30 years ago, but not now. Very good.
It's been an amazing journey. I can't believe 35 years later we're all sitting here with all of you. It's pretty cool.
It took a while to get all this going. I mean, I've been waiting for, I guess, 35 years to meet you all. Hi, and thank you for watching me be Slimer, fighting against Dan and everybody. Thanks for coming out.
I've been like the 30th anniversary. I worked on GB2 as Slimer, and I'm just happy to be with you all. And I love the fans, and they're probably the most amazing group ever, so thank you.
My name's Tim Lawrence, and I worked on the first film with Mark Wilson as the short-horned terror dog on the steps of the Temple of the Gozer, but I was the creature shop supervisor for the second movie and also played Nunzio Scaleri. And the day I got the phone number from Dennis Muir and asking me to come up and do that job was a day that changed my life. And I look out here now over all these people and I see all these uniforms and all this tech equipment and I think, what an industry has built up around what we did 35 years ago.
Hi. Hello. I'm Timothy Carhart, and this is just wonderful. I can't believe celebrating this wonderful film, and you've all come out. And what a blessing it is. You probably don't even know me. I played the stiff opposite Sigourney Weaver. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jim Fye. I played the Jogger Ghost and Tony Scaleri and the Statue of Liberty in Ghostbusters 2. This is an amazing event. It's so nice to meet you all. Thank you so much.
John Bruno. I was Boss Film visual effects art director, designer. We designed sort of the creatures and did all the creatures at the shop here in Marina del Rey, here with Mark. And basically that was Slimer, first Slimer, Marshmallow Man. What else did we do? The Library Ghosts, Terror Dogs. We shot all that here. None of us had any idea if it was working. But it was the most fun I ever had in a movie. Never ever thought there'd be this many people 35 years later that actually cared. But it was, thank you guys. It's really quite cool.
Hi, my name's Tom Morga. I'm a stuntman, and I was able to double for Harold Ramis in the original Ghostbusters. So I can tell you we had no idea what was going to happen. And it was great fun, and 35 years later, here you all are. I ain't afraid of no ghost, are you?
Well, thank you all so much, for coming back and sharing the 35th anniversary with all of these incredible fans. To start off, I know you were talking a little bit about your stunt work. What was it like, being a stuntman, and what were the stunts that you did?
Asking about the stunt. Can you hear me? I did a couple of scenes where we got thrown down the stairs because Dan Aykroyd didn't know to say he was a god. And then when the street out in front
broke down, and the car went in, we all fell into the crack too. It was kind of fun. It was a regular stunt job for us. When the coordinator hired us, says, I got this thing we're doing, it's called Ghostbusters, and I really don't know what it's all about because they're using computers to do something after they've done the original production, and it'll be in post. So we were really in the dark, but it was kind of fun. And like I say, we had no idea what it would turn into, but here we are.
Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Johnson. Model shop, creature shop supervisor.
Yeah, what are we doing? I came in late. We're introducing each other. Well, I made Slimer. I get out of tickets. Cops pull me over and they say, how much have you had to drink tonight, sir? And I say, I made Slimer. And they're like, well, why don't you just move along your way? So yeah, that's me.
Well, since you just joined us, can you tell us a little bit about how you were able to create Slimer and what gave you the inspiration while creating Slimer?
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
That is such a loaded question. There are children in the audience, right? I think you have to be careful here. Well, you know it was the 80s. And what goes with the 80s? The early 80s, you're too young to know. That entire movie was drug-fueled. It wasn't just the effects people. Sorry, John. It was the writers, the directors, the actors. Where do you think those ideas came from? So a lot of the inspiration was very, very late nights at the studio, trying to do the absolute best job we could and fueling it with drugs.
Well, you did a great job. Slimer is so iconic, and we have Slimer with us today, so that's amazing that you both were able to come together. And, it's just incredible how, secondary parts mean so much to a movie. You had the two students in the first card scene, and it's the first scene where we see the actors, and it really sets the tone for the entire movie. You see Bill Murray, and you're able to see his character and what it means. And what was it like for you two to be a part of such an iconic part of the movie?
You don't really know that there's an iconic part of the movie at that point. You're going in and you're doing what you audition for typically.
Okay.
But somebody was asking me earlier, I have a fun audition story. So my audition story is I really wasn't completely prepared. I didn't know what I wanted to do to get this part. And while I'm waiting, in walked one of my favorite actors when I was a kid, Clarence Williams III from Mod Squad. Mm-hmm. I thought he was the coolest dude. And he walks in to this audition. And now I'm just thinking about, oh my God, there's Clarence Williams III. And I look to this side of me, and it's an actor, and he's chewing gum. And I said, do you have any more gum? Little did he know he was handing me the part. And right in that moment, I thought, oh, this is beautiful. I'm going to do this. I don't care. I got to do this. And I went into that room full of all our great producers and the director and the casting people, and Aykroyd and Harold and everybody. And I let that gum fly, and the entire room I destroyed. They lost it. And I tried to maintain, I tried to, I'm biting on my tongue to not follow suit with their enjoyment, but I knew right in that moment, man, I think I got this one.
We did. Well, I kind of already knew it was going to be incredible, so it was just so much fun that day. It was, I didn't want it to end. You didn't either. We were in New York for a couple of weeks, I think. We were the cover set, and so we got to play and hang out in New York, and they brought us down to the set to see all the destruction on, I don't know what street that was.
It was we were at Columbia University.
Yeah, and we were at Columbia University, but it was just a few hours when the day finally came, a few hours of just having the greatest time, laughing so hard and just going, wow, I'm getting paid for this. And then you forget about it, and then the movie comes out and I had no idea. So I'm still pinching myself. Ghostbusters is awesome.
Definitely. And, what was your favorite part of the movie? I know that, there's Ghostbusters 1 and 2, but for each of you, what was it that you just thought, this is so cool to watch?
I think that when I saw the librarian ghost, that first whole scene in the movie, I just was so blown away. That started it, and then I think every
I read that.
Yeah, and yes, and every scene after that, I just don't think there's a bad scene in the movie. So I don't think I could pick.
Tough. And it was just a gas for us to be doing our scene at Columbia University in New York City and working with Bill, and every take's different. Every single take that you do with Bill Murray is completely different, and it's a wild ride and good fun. And one thing I do remember is I was a bit naive. I thought, well, it's a $30 million budget. And I walked in, I was thinking, this is a $30 million budget, so they probably got like a whole electronics thing to hook up to me and wires, and shocked me. And they were like, no, you gotta act. So, all the director asked was, did you bring the gum?
My name is Tony Caesar. I was the stuntman that was Stay Puft when he was climbing the building on fire. And to me, seeing him walk down the street and climbing the building, I thought was pretty awesome. We shot it on a sound stage, I think in Culver City, and it was a fake building that I was climbing, but I was really on fire. And what a lot of people don't know, we did it 4 times. They told me I didn't need to wear a fire suit inside Stay Puft because he was made of fireproofing so he wouldn't burn. The second time we did the fire burn, the head split open and the inside of the head caught on fire. So I was glad I wore my fire suit inside of it.
Yeah, I was inside Slimer and I worked for Steve Johnson and helped him build a lot of the stuff that he had in his imagination in whatever condition that was at the moment.
Well, let me tell you guys, what happened was when I had an idea that was too crazy and too difficult and too impossible to pull off, I made Mark do it.
Can't
and he did it with a smile on his face.
Yeah, I'm still working on that smile. But working at Boss was really an amazing adventure for me. I was new in the industry. I had just been on a couple of very low B monster movies, Monster in the Closet, and so it was fun to go from where you just hardly had any money to do something that there was actually a budget. And working at Boss, we had a screening room, so every time we shot something, we got a chance to watch it and review it, and a chance to make it better. There was a group of extremely talented artists and technicians who would review the shots. And so to me, I think the highlight was sitting around in that room, getting a chance to see your performance, your fabrications and stuff on screen, and getting a chance to make them better with some of the world's greatest special effects talent.
When you say memorable, I have to say I have a soft spot for Rick Moranis in every scene he was in. And I got to do, funny part is a lot of the scenes in Ghostbusters 2 is with Rick Moranis. I never met him because I shot all my stuff 3,000 miles away and about 3 months after he shot his stuff. But yeah, I would have to say he's one of my favorites. I love him.
This is our favorite memories. I have no memory. A lot of people ask me, since I played 3 characters, what's my favorite one? I just can't answer that question. They were all awesome. They all had different things that made them fun. Flying as Tony Scolari was pretty cool, but how can you beat playing the Statue of Liberty, for heaven's sakes? It was awesome. It was all awesome. It was great.
Hang on, we're going to give John a second here. Where is Billy Bryan, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man? Billy Bryan, William Bryan, get him out here. The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, somebody go in there and tell him to come out here.
I wanted to mention the shooting of first movie, Slimer. There were 8 of us in the screening room every day. And you got to realize, I don't think anybody realizes that Ghostbusters had a 10-month schedule from the day they gave us the script. It was going to come out 10 months after that. And that's pre-digital era. And what we had to, and basically to make that even possible, the characters had to be characters in suits. The Marshmallow Man was a guy in a suit. The Onion Head, as it was in the script, not Slimer yet, it was called the Onion Head, and it was supposed to be John Belushi. And that was the suit. And Steve designed, I remember coming into Steve's office and he'd have these incredibly funny clay maquettes that were cartoon characters and poses. And he goes, for every one of the storyboards, because I had done the storyboards, and every one of these shots or these scenes, there would be a pose, like a mouth, a pose for the little guy when he's drinking, on the cart, the little guy when he's eating, and all of this stuff. When we would do it, we were trying to figure out everything had to be. What can we do to make this funny? And we started shooting it at 12 frames a second, 8 frames a second, 6, 4. We did these tests, and there was 8 of us every day in the screening room. If we laughed, we thought, well, that's funny, but is anyone else going to think it's funny? And we ended up at 6 frames a second was what Mark is acting to. He's doing reactions and he's breathing. He's doing all this weird stuff. But we didn't know what it would look like till we saw it in the screening room. If it made us laugh, we'd send it to optical, and they would do a test, put it in. And that's basically, there was 8 of us that I worried about. The only people in Hollywood that think it's funny is us. And this is the Marshmallow Man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. William Bryan. But hang on, before we finish that.
Hi, everybody.
Wait, no, shut up for a second.
Everybody,
we can't
listen,
forget.
it's Steve Johnson.
Hang on, we can't forget Randall William Cook's involvement. He did the Pterodogs stop motion. He was in charge of the live action full animatronics of the Pterodogs. And he also was really involved, Mark, in the direction of it. He brought a Laurel and Hardy aspect to your performance, which was really cool. So big hand for Randall William Cook. 3 Oscars for Best Visual Effects. That's why he's not here. He could give a fuck. But, all right, on to you, bud.
There's kids in the audience. Your turn. I just got here. What's going on? Is there an event of some sort? I did hear about it, actually.
This is the guy in a suit. Talk about it.
So I was called in to build this suit first, and then I got to wear it, except for when it was burning. Actually, they wanted me to wear it when it was burning, but I told them my wife said that she would divorce me if I wore a burning suit. She divorced me anyway, but it wasn't because I wore a burning suit. Let's see, what can I tell you? We came up with a lot of ways to build this suit. We argued about the right way to do it. Sometimes standard old methods. There we go. It's not easy with only 3 fingers. What can I tell you? It was very hot, yes. If I waved my arms up and down, the suit was empty, and so it acted like a bellows, and I got fresh air. That was an innovation I discovered while wearing it. Let's see, what else? The first time you see Stay Puft, he's walking behind buildings, and because they wanted the buildings and the head in focus at the same time, I didn't wear the suit. I only wore a t-shirt, which I have at my booth back there. You can come take a look at it. It's an actual screen-worn t-shirt with the Michelin Man. Or you can click through on your Blu-ray and you can see it frame by frame in the one little alleyway as it passes by. It was my own subliminal advertisement for Michelin tires. If you look at their sales spike in 1984, I'm taking responsibility, and I still haven't gotten the check. Thank you. Take it away. Oh, yeah, I think my favorite thing in the movie is Sigourney Weaver. Doesn't she levitate from the bed? Is that in the movie? Or did I hallucinate that? She did, right? She levitated. I thought that was extremely funny. Also, when I performed, it was extremely funny. And it was one of my favorite parts of the movie when I put the little, what is that stuff called? nose drops thing in my nose, which wasn't my idea, but they told me to do it. Yeah, something like whatever they said. So that was it. I remember it was my first job in New York, and it was this amazing experience. I didn't realize, like a lot of us, how big this movie would be. And it was kind of the easiest audition I ever had. I had like long hair, and they cut it into a mullet. So I guess I was the only one in New York in the 80s, Linda, that had a mullet. I was the only one. So I got the part. So that's it.
I was just reminded of a quick story. Well, two quick stories. One is getting back to the gadget that I thought was going to be electrocuting me and wasn't. So what I was doing was I was pinching the hell out of my leg. I mean, I didn't know what I was doing, but I was doing it to get that reaction. And we took a break. I went into the bathroom. I pulled down my pants. It looked like a Jackson Pollock painting. My leg was veins popping out and blues and reds, and in walked the director of photography, and he screamed, "Oh my God, Steven, what are you doing, man?" And he was really upset. It really looked pretty gross. I said, you know, it's yeah, he accused me of being a method actor. And anyways, I thought that was great that he saw me with my pants down and my leg was just he was impressed. And so a quick little story, I'll make it real quick, is it was around 2008, 9. I was in Los Angeles, kind of touring around, had some time. I go by the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences building on Wilshire Boulevard. And there's a line out front, and I thought, I wonder what's going on there. I find a place to park in Beverly Hills, pretty tough to do. And I somehow got into this sold-out event. And I still didn't know what it was, and I just kind of was ushered in, and there's big placards, and it says, Harold Ramis tonight. And so Harold Ramis comes out, and it's this whole event, sold-out event in Beverly Hills for his films and his writing and all of that. And he says, I'm going to start this right off. And I didn't know this until going to see this. He said, the first thing I'm going to show you, we're going to show a clip here. And he goes, I think of all my writing that I've ever done, I'm most proud of this scene. And he goes, I'm going to show this to you. And the reason why I'm proud of this scene is, and I remember this so distinctly, is he said they had written the entire script and realized when they came back to the beginning it wasn't as strong as the rest of the script as they got further into it, and they needed a really good front end. And they came up with what you saw in the movie, the scene that Jennifer and I were introducing Bill's character. And of course I didn't know what he was going to show. I think what happened is he showed the scene and then told that story. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And people started turning around looking at me, and it was real. I ended up going up there when everybody left and said hi and everything. And he's one of the most marvelous, wonderful, open people that I've gotten a chance to meet in the industry. And he said, oh my God, you look the same. And I said, oh my God, you look the same. And it was just really fantastic, and it was great to hear that story. I'd never known that had happened and why that scene was so comedically on point.
Well, that is such a great look into kind of the view of behind the scenes of making Ghostbusters. But what initially made each of you want to join the film industry?
Richard Edlin. Richard Edlin is not here, but he is here. Richard Edlin's Boss Film Corporation was responsible for all of the effects that we did in this film, and also Fright Night and Big Trouble in Little China. And where's Richard? Let's bring him out here. Richard Edlin, come on, big hand for Richard Edlin. Richard, get out of here. We got Billy Bryan out here, let's get Richard. But that's why I joined the company, because Richard Edlin is a genius, and he brought a stable of geniuses together and let us all do our best work. Big hand for Richard.
I joined the stunt industry, or the movie industry, when I was a young man, because you got to do things that you wanted to do as a kid and get paid for them. It's a wonderful industry. You had a great time.
I guess I was smitten by puppets as a child. I always wanted to do puppetry. I just thought they were so amazing and magical. So I started seeing how they were used in film and TV and just kept following that. And I saw the stuff that Rick Baker was doing with Steve Johnson and his crew on American Werewolf, and then off into Star Wars. And I was like, I want to bring characters to life. I want to make them and have them come to life. And that's where the opportunity was, the film industry.
I was a little girl and my mom took me to see a production of Annie, and I looked at my mom and I said, I got to do that. This is what I really want to do. I started doing musical theater and got into commercials and TV and film. I know we're talking about a lot of people involved with this. I want to mention a name, Michael Gross, who was a producer. We miss him. He created the No Ghost logo. He produced.
Watch my favorite TV show and then do it at the family dinner for them. So I've always had an affinity for acting. I was a working actor when I was called to audition for Ghostbusters 2. I did not know it was an audition for Ghostbusters 2. They would not tell me that. They just said, come dressed for movement and we want you to move like a statue. That's all I got. And then there was a callback, and then I had the part, and then they still didn't want to tell me what it was about. But I think I made them. I said, no, I'm not going to do it unless you tell me what the job is. And then when they told me, my jaw just like dropped to the floor. So.
I guess the question is, how did you get into acting and blah blah blah, or whatever it is, special effects? So I was in 8th grade, and I was infatuated with my English teacher, Miss Pavlovic.
Come on out, Miss Pavlovic.
Miss Pavlovic, and one day she got me in the hallway. I was failing English along with everything else, and she said, "Would you like to be in my play?" And I'm like, "Yes, Miss Pavlovic." So I stood on the stage in a leotard for the entire play, had not one line of Antigone, which is a very long, heavy play. And at the very end, he said, King Creon says, "Drag her away." And I said, "Yes, Creon." And I dragged her away, and I was hooked. That was it. Showbiz. That's all it took. That's how I got into it. So, and plus, all the teachers came up to my mother and said, "He can't do anything else." So, let him get into acting. Yeah, good.
So, I love that story. I'm not going to be able to look at you without seeing tutus now. But, I got into this business in a really weird way because I was so incredibly shy that my mother put me into an acting class because I could not even speak to people. I was just, the girl with their hair down and head down, but I started this little class and I got hooked, and I thought, oh my gosh, I could kind of come out of my shell and play characters and pretend and it just was the funnest thing I'd ever done. I still can't quite believe I was in Ghostbusters and that I'm an actress. How'd that happen? What's happening?
Definitely, I know we have to wrap it up now because there's photo ops to be done, but I want to thank you all for coming out to the secondary cast panel, and thank you all for coming out to the Ghostbusters Fan Fest.
Thank you.
Woo! Can we get a bigger hand, please? Come on, everybody, go crazy! Whoa! It's Ghostbuster crazy here. And I do have a quick announcement, everybody. There's been
It's great. I love it. Photobomb everything. You're gonna not be in the shot, Sean.
Look at this photo bomb. Everybody back, put your hands up. In
Smile.
back. Come on, make it crazy. This is fun.
Yeah, let's party.
On 3, Ghostbusters. 1, 2, 3.
Ghostbusters!
I'm loving it.